Lucas, what has changed since we last saw BattleCry?
A lot of things. So, we went to Alpha in Australia, got a ton of great feedback. So, since last time you've seen the game, we actually reduced the number of players. So, our big teams are now 12v12. Our small teams, we have 6v6 for a really intimate experience. We made lots of changes to our war zones to really accommodate that. We've got a whole new progression scheme in the game. So, as a warrior, you can get to 10 levels of rank. You can build loadouts. You can unlock skills. Completely change how your warrior plays. So, a lot of dynamic stuff that's gone in. We've added a couple more warrior classes to the game, so we now have 5 warrior classes up and running in the game, and just a lot of moment-to-moment changes, a lot of great art improvements, a lot of amazing animation improvements, and more and more.
For those that don't actually know what BattleCry is, give me a broad overview.
Yeah, so BattleCry is a tactical action combat game. So it's really all about taking that brawler action combat that a lot of times you see in single player and bringing that in the multiplayer space. So it's third person, extremely fast, highly animation driven. Your warriors constantly running around, executing combos, amazing over the top abilities, mantling, grappling, and just flying through the level.
We were lucky enough to get the alpha in Australia. What did you learn from the alpha?
Tons of great stuff. So, one of the big reasons we kind of moved the size of the teams down was, players were just a little bit too confused by our massive war zones, and, when it was 32 players, there was just a little bit too much to take in. So, by reducing that down, we really found that players were able to still have these epic battles, but still have a really good mind map of the size of the war zone, where everything was, and where their team was.
That 6v6 intimate hunt and kill, love it. But I came across something new. Who are the Huns?
So the Han Republic is the third faction that we wanted to announce, and they really kind of represent, the Chinese, Korean, and Mongolian empires. They've kind of band together as a faction, representing the war zone for their political needs and interests in the war zone.
Something else has changed as well is there's a new progression and character building.
Yeah, so we now have 10 ranks of progression for each of the warriors. You're able to build up through our Mento system, unlock several skill slots. We have tons and tons of skill. I think it's something like 600 combinatorial for each warrior class that you can go in and radically change. So as a gadgeteer, you have an aeroscope that reveals enemies' positions. You might change it out so instead of revealing the enemy, instead it confuses the enemy and shows them your team at false positions on the map, or you might change one of your mines to be like a sentry turret. Lots of interesting changes like that. As an enforcer, you can get back health when you do adrenaline burst. A lot of really interesting mechanics like that.
Now I jumped in and I was playing the glass cannon opportunistic killer, the infiltrator. For those coming into it for the first time, who do you reckon you'd recommend as a good starting character?
So the Enforcer's a tank character. Sometimes he's a good class to start with just because he has that extra health. You stay alive a little bit longer and you're able to kind of learn the map. But as you learn the war zones and as you learn where to stand, that really opens up play for characters like the Infiltrator or even the Ranger. The Ranger is a really excellent range class, but it's all about using the verticality of the map, knowing you have a grapple nearby, having an escape strategy as the Ranger is key. But as long as you do, you're going to be able to just do devastating damage.
Let's go back to that grapple system. It's pretty original for a game like this. Go into that more, man. That verticality is crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, the grapple system is a great example of just the amazing team we have at BattleCry. So, ton of autonomy, a ton of creativity, and it's just an idea that independently, over our first year at BattleCry, several people came and said, hey, have we ever thought about a mechanic like this? I think it could work. And, we finally crossed that threshold, all right, enough people have come to me. There's got to be something here. Yeah, let's throw it in the game. And I think, our first Christmas break, we threw it in the game. It worked out absolutely amazing. And just put huge smiles on everybody's face. And that was it. It was like, okay, this absolutely works for the game. It's here to stay, and it's just improved and improved since then.
What kind of feedback have you had from the competitive space in this one? Are you feeling kind of like an esports vibe to this as well?
Absolutely, and I mean that's something we're going to let the community really build and kind of grow organically, but we are hearing that from a lot of our fans. So at a lot of the consumer shows where we get, big groups sitting down, especially anytime we get clans and guilds to sit down, it's amazing to see the strategy that forms out. I mean, there's, we play the game every single day at BattleCry, we play test every single day, but the clans sit down and within 5 minutes it's like, holy crap, we never even thought of that, so amazing things that have been coming out of that, and then watching the alpha play and a lot of the strategies building there.
We've talked a lot about the mechanics in it, and it obviously comes a lot from you as the design director. Where did you get your inspiration for some of these?
So, a lot of it's just checking out the brawler space. Like I said, we were really inspired by, the single-player brawler games, things like God of War, the Arkham series, even Devil May Cry, were a lot of kind of the core inspiration of that, and just thinking, like, how can we just take the amazing years of progression that have happened in Brawler and bring that into the competitive space and still make it feel, fun and accessible, and just, like, those games put a huge smile on my face, and that's what I wanted. Is like, yeah, we're competitive, but at the end of the day, what can we do to build a game that you win, lose, or draw, you just have this big smile on your face, and you had these epic, amazing moments in the game.
What can we expect next from BattleCry, and when can we get our hands on it?
So that's kind of one and the same. So what's next for BattleCry is we're moving into our beta. So we're finishing up our alpha in Australia. We'll be moving into a beta phase, and we'll be doing releasing the beta worldwide this year in 2015. So players can sign up at battlecrythegame.com, get into the beta, and they'll be one of the first to let in.
And that's about it for this edition of Player Attack. Thanks for watching. Next week, we head off to the Seven Seas for a look at World of Warships, which is finally ready to launch, while Johnny Robot finds out more about the latest Tom Clancy experience, Rainbow Six Siege. In the meantime, you can catch us on playerattack.com. We are on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And if you've got something you want to say, send us an email, mailbox@playerattack.com, or just hop on our forums. Till next week, I'm Jessica Citizen, and this is Player Attack.